Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the final week of Season 2 of the Lyons Den Quiz League. 15 minutes before the deadline, doing it last minute as always, and this week is probably going to be my worst maybe ever. I don't remember a week when I had this few correct answers, but it's tricky, that's for sure. But we're going to get into this. There are definitely still a few that I'm not sure about. I'll take some time to think about them if I have it, but I am going to run out of time pretty soon here, so I gotta go. Starting with quiz number 1 called Speedrunning. Usain Bolt accumulated 8 gold medals, which came from 3 different Olympic track and field disciplines. Again, I don't watch the Olympics. I don't know anything about it, or them, basically. I think disciplines, it's probably just distances. So, given I don't remember him or seeing him run like hurdles or do pole vault or jumping or anything like that, it's probably just short distance running stuff. So I'm going to say 100 meters, 200 meters, and I think 400 meters. I hope 300 isn't a thing. I hope 400 is a thing. I'm not sure, but I just figured name the 3 shortest distances you can run in an Olympic event. Hopefully that's what they want, but I'm not sure. This is a question I'm completely stumped by. I don't know what the hell's going on. The keyboard layout is used by people with what profession to type at speeds that can reach 300 words per minute? I have never seen this before. I don't know why there are 3 S's. There are a bunch of letters missing. Wait, how many letters are there? Give me a sec. S, T, P, H, F, that's 5. L is 6. D is 7. No, never mind. I thought it could be Hawaiian. But there's definitely no Z, and the asterisk doesn't make sense either. I was wondering if it could be like Hawaiian translators or something. I don't understand this. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't need all the letters in the alphabet. And I don't know why you would need asterisks. I don't know why you would need anything twice, let alone 3 times. So I have no idea. I'll just say whatever, translators. Number 3. What shipping line completed a disastrous speedrun on its flagship vessel, the largest ship ever built, sank on its maiden voyage in 1912, so that's the Titanic. Its name might be more reminiscent of countries like Somalia, Myanmar, or Chile. I was like, what the heck do Somalia, Myanmar, and Chile have in common? I realized they all have a white star on their flag, and white star sounds like a thing that would be a shipping line, so it makes sense. So I'll probably go with white star for that one. Number 4. Fastest violinist in the world is determined by how long it takes the violinist to complete playing what piece, which continues to generate a buzz, haha. So this is going to be Flight of the Bumblebee by Rimsky-Korsakov, which is a notably, fast-paced song, so that makes perfect sense. Number 5, another one where I should know the answer, but I just don't. This guy was able to beat the Wii edition of what video game series while blindfolded? And then it lists a bunch of bosses or whatever these are that I've literally never heard of. They sound like they're almost maybe names of real people modified to be fake. But again, they aren't giving me anything. So a video game series that you beat, I was thinking it could be like a sports game with knockoff player names, but again, how do you even beat a sports game? I feel like that's not something you do normally. So, I mean, it can't be like Mario, it can't be Donkey Kong, it can't be Zelda, because again, I don't think any of these characters make any sense. So I just really have no idea. I don't think it's Pokemon either. This just doesn't really make any sense to me. I don't know, to be honest with you. Flamenco is a dance, so maybe it's Dance Revolution. This is probably maybe the worst guess ever made by anyone ever, but I have no good answer here. Question 6, which scientist noted that the number of transistors in a single computer chip had doubled about every 2 years? This is just a phenomenon known as Moore's Law, so his name is going to be Moore. I think that's pretty easy. 2 is wrong, 5 is wrong, 1 is probably wrong. So 3 and 4 are the ones I have to decide between. How famous is Flight of the Bumblebee? I don't know. Like, I think it's pretty well known, but like White Star I feel like isn't easy, but it's also a community of geography people who know the flags of these countries, so they can probably put that together. So I might actually say 4 for this. And we'll just see how badly that goes for me. Probably not too well. Gordon Moore is his name. Punch-Out! I've never heard of in my life. That's tough. Okay, so the first one is wrong because I didn't say relay, and it's 400 meters, but it's not, you know. Stenographers, I don't know what a stenographer is. I mean, I've heard the word, but I'm never getting that ever. White Star Line, Flight of the Bumblebee, Gordon Moore. So that's just 3 out of 6. And again, I've never heard of Punch-Out! In my life. I have no idea what that is. So that is a rough start. But again, like I said, this week is not going to go well for me based off of how the questions look. So, yep, it's about par for the course, I think. Okay, quiz 2. Another one that I'm just completely baffled by. I don't know what in the world is going on in this question. I was really happy when I saw that the title of this quiz was like a math quiz written by Looney, and then I realized it's not a math quiz, so tough. So this, I could not be more lost on this question. Like, simply solve for the equation, whatever that is. I mean, I tried fiddling around with this. I mean, this denominator is 9 times that denominator. So it's like this is 45y plus 20, and that's 5y plus 2. So this simplifies to 50y plus 20 over 10x plus 162. But that doesn't, or 9x plus 162 rather, but that doesn't help. Like, what does that mean? The variable you know, so you're supposed to know one of the 2 variables, but not the other one. Starting at base points, 3 halves, 27 tenths. Like, I have no idea what's going on here. This is the weirdest question I've ever seen. And apparently these are extremely inefficient and complicated ways too, so that's cool. But I have no idea. I'm going to say, I don't know, linear regression. This isn't correct, but I have no idea what the answer is. Question 2. After a series of experiments about a technique known as chunking, researcher George Miller arrived at the magic number of 7 plus or minus 2, which defines a soft limit on what capacity. Again, no idea. The only thing that this jogged in my memory was a Mythbusters episode about folding paper, and I know that 7 is like supposedly a limit on how many times you can fold a piece of paper. So this is, again, probably the dumbest answer ever given, but I'm going to say what capacity, how many times you can fold a piece of paper. I don't know, man. Question 3. James holds an entire summer's worth of weekend parties. Blah, blah, blah. Requires pay for a lot of things. What chosen surname does he go by? Again, I don't know what's going on. I feel like it might be The Great Gatsby, so I'm just going to say Gatsby. Maybe his name was James. It's been so long since I read that book. His name is Jay, but like maybe Jay is James. I don't remember his real name. But, you know, it could be that, and he lives on Long Island, and again, I can't think of any other thing that's reasonable here, so that's kind of the only guess I'm going to have. Question 4. A campaign led by what historical figure supposedly caused like some kind of exchange rate to drop? Again, like what? I have no idea what this is. Mamluks are like Ottoman soldiers as far as I'm aware. Or at least like Arab soldiers, so I thought it could be some Ottoman Empire thing, so I thought maybe guessing like Suleiman the Magnificent is a guess that I could make. I mean, again, I'm sure it's wrong, but I don't know what the hell's going on. I thought it could be like Mansa Musa's like pilgrimage to Mecca, but it's, after reading it again, it's definitely not that, so, because it has nothing to do with Mamluks at all. So yeah, just no clue. I thought it could also be like a crusade, a campaign led by a figure, but again, I don't even know who that would be. I mean, There are a lot of crusades led by a lot of different people, so I don't think I have any prayer of guessing that correctly. This one, no chance. Some random musician who had an acting debut in 2002. The title contains some sort of imperial unit. Again, I've thought for a while about this and come up with absolutely nothing, so that's fun. I haven't even really thought of a guess, but I mean, it's whatever I guess, it's not going to be correct, let's be real. But yeah, I mean, converted to metric, I thought it could be like 12.9 could be like 40 feet or like 20 miles or something like that, but again, that's not giving me anything, so I just think I don't really stand any chance with this question. So I'm going to guess. Who am I going to guess? Who's a musician who's been in movies? I'll do this question first. For a given country, let its Roman value be equal to the highest Roman numeral value you can make out of consecutive letters in its capital. What country has the highest Roman value? Belarus and Dominican Republic are Minsk and Santo Domingo, which both have MI in them. So MI would be 1001 in Roman numerals. So you're looking for a capital city that has a Roman numeral value somewhere in its higher than 1001. So it's got to be M something. So it would be MV, MX, ML, MC, MD, or MM. And apparently there's only one of those that exists, but I started thinking and I came up with Amman fairly quickly. So MM would be Roman for 2000. So that I feel like that just has to be the answer. And I have to enhance that because it's the only one that I have correct, other than maybe 3, which if that's correct, then it's easy. And 2, that's just, I have no confidence that that's correct at all. Or 4, or 1, or 5. I don't even have an answer for 5. This is definitely the most disappointed I've ever been by a math quiz. Not saying it's badly written, but I'm saying normally when a quiz is labeled math, I have a good chance at getting the questions correct. And that is very much not the case here. I've never been, well, I don't want to say I've never been more lost on one of these quizzes, because that's not true, because the next one is even worse. But this one is still pretty bad. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. A musician who's in movies. There are probably a few of those. It's probably somebody pretty old, because it's autobiographical in 2002. So, David Bowie. And I don't even know if he's in movies, but whatever. Money number 6, and then honestly, good chance I'm 1 out of 6 here. But again, I am so unbelievably lost here. So let's just see what we get here. Jordan is correct. Gatsby is correct. How is it actually Mansa Musa, by the way? Okay. I don't understand what that has to do with Mamluks. Like, I swear he's like African. I don't think Mamluks had anything to do with Mali, so I don't really understand what the connection is there. I mean, obviously he went through Arabia, but that's still I mean, okay, whatever. I should have just said that. Converting between Fahrenheit and Celsius, again, just like, I don't think I'm a fan of that question, to be 100% honest. Like, I know how to convert between Fahrenheit and Celsius, but I do it the normal way, like every other normal person. Those, I don't know, like, those things that were described were so, like, ridiculously pointless and complicated that it's like, why would you ever do that? Or how would you even think of it? Like, I don't know. I'm just coping because I got it wrong, but, like, I'm not really a fan of that question. Because, again, I know how to convert between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Like, I know how to do that quite well, but the things that were listed were just not... I don't even know how I'm supposed to think of that from what I was given, because those were just a bit silly. Short-term memory. I don't even remember what the question was, but I definitely didn't say short-term memory. Oh, it was the 7 ± 2 thing. What? Okay. Yeah, no idea what that's even referring to. Eminem, 8 Mile. Oh, 20 mile. Jesus, I went the wrong way. Yeah, 12.9 kilometers. I thought it was 20 miles. I'm an idiot. Okay, 8 Mile. You know, I've heard of 8 Mile. I kind of choked that question. I might have been able to get that if I had gone the correct direction, but I'm a moron, so I didn't. So that's 2 out of 6, and yeah, just an absolutely dreadful start to the week. And this is going to be even worse. So, yeah, it's about like actors and people in pop culture who are the like daughters and sons of other people in pop culture. Just fantastic. So yeah, this is the only one I think I know. The only reason I know this is because so many people have been talking about this Kendrick Lamar Drake thing that I think it's like it's just it reached me somehow, even though I could not possibly care less about any of that. But I think it was called Euphoria, which could be the name of a TV series. I don't know. I don't watch TV, but I think that's going to be the answer. And the other 5 I'm not getting, unless I get lucky. The calculating antagonist of John Wick 4 and an Elon Musk-esque tech mogul on Succession were both played with actors by actors with what last name? Again, like literally no clue. They have a father who's apparently famous. I'm going to guess Affleck because Ben Affleck and I think Casey Affleck are brothers, I want to say. And they could have a dad who's in movies. And I know that Ben Affleck himself is in Good Will Hunting. So, I don't know. Maybe his dad played his dad. I don't know. Probably not. Question 3. The 2010 song Whip My Hair, never heard of it, was a hit single for the daughter of which woman who contracted some disease I've never heard of and became the butt of a joke in 2022. Like, there are several things going on in this question, none of which I've heard of. So, again, I don't really have any idea. Just choose an actress / musician, which, I mean, she's probably pretty old again because her daughter came out with this song 15 years ago. So she's probably like, I don't know, 60s, 70s, something like that. But yeah, I mean, as far as I know, it could be anyone. So let's go with Madonna. Question 4. His father is an actor. His mother's a TV personality. Matty Healy took on his family's artistic talents in a different direction when he became the frontman of what band? No idea. Never heard of him. Never heard of the songs. Never heard of the album. Guess Fallout Boy. Question 5. The lead role in the 2021 prequel film The Many Saints of Newark was played by a man with the first name Michael. Michael is the son of what actor? I have never heard of The Many Saints of Newark. I have probably never heard of Michael. Michael is the son of what actor? This actor portrayed a TV series that ran for 6 seasons between 1999 and 2007. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the British Office or something. Question 6. Nelly Korda, who is currently ranked as the #1 women's golfer in the world, comes from a background of professional sports, not golf. What other sport have her father, Petter, her mother, Regina, and her brother, Sebastian, all achieved professional success in? I have never heard of Nelly, Petter, Regina, or Sebastian, so tough luck. Guess a random sport and move on with my life. So I'm going to enhance #1 and probably get 1 out of 6. What? Was that not correct? All right, tennis is actually correct. That's extremely lucky. Euphoria is correct, and the rest are wrong. Sure. I mean, I've never heard of James Gandolfini. 1975, I've heard of him, but I don't know anything about him. Jada Pinkett Smith is the wife of Will Smith, I think. Again, don't know the first thing about her. And then Skarsgård. Yeah, I have heard of these guys, but again, I'm never getting that from the clues given. So, solid 2 out of 6. Again, that quiz was just impossible for me. So, yeah. It is unfortunate having pop culture once a week because I just dislike pop culture quizzes. But hey, I mean, they are a part of trivia. It is a skill issue, so it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's a me problem, not a quiz problem. It's just I suck at pop culture and don't enjoy playing those questions. So yeah, at least normally I fare better than that, but that was just a total nightmare. All right. If only there were. Imagine if there was a math quiz every week. How based would that be? Oh man, or even a geography quiz every week would be cool. But yeah, nope, unlucky. And even the media quiz is sometimes half pop culture anyway. So speaking of which, who is this dragon fighting? Yeah, pop culture question. These clips are from the Below Dragons original and most recent film appearances. I'm gonna say maybe Godzilla because the dragon appears quite large. Many film appearances checks out. It's having like rocks thrown at it, so I don't know. I think Godzilla makes sense, so I'll just try that. This, I believe, is the St. George Cross, which is the only reason I know what that is because it's the symbol depicted on the flag of Malta in the like top left corner or whatever. The flag of Malta, there's like a cross that has a shield in it, or a little insignia that says for gallantry. So I think it's called the St. George Cross. Question 3, again, more pop culture, more I have no idea. Like, this dragon appears in a film whose title mentions what profession. I've never seen this image in my life, so I'm just going to guess like doctor or something because that's a common profession. What country is this dragon from? I don't know, but it might be the Druk, the thunder dragon that appears on the flag of Bhutan. At least it looks reasonably similar, and he appears to be in like clouds, so thunder dragon makes some sense. So I will go with Bhutan for that one. These works depict scenes from what Bible book? Again, we are just hitting all of my weak spots. I don't know or care what happens in any Bible book. The first one I think is when God like creates the world. That's Genesis. And I think Exodus is when like Moses runs away and parts the Red Sea or whatever. Other than that, literally anything could happen in any Bible book. I have no idea. So let's just guess a random Bible book. This one has a D at the bottom, which is probably just an artist signature, but I'm going to guess Deuteronomy because it starts with a D. So who knows, maybe. And then this film adapts a novel by, I think, Stieg Larsson, who is the guy who wrote The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which I assume is what's going on given all the other questions are about dragons. So yeah, I think that's reasonably well known, but still not easy. But I think number 2 is harder, so I will enhance number 2, and then it's going to be wrong, knowing how I've been doing so far. I'm not expecting much, but I think it's called the St. George Cross, so let's find out. It is the George Cross. That better be accepted. Okay, Stieg Larsson, Bhutan, Detective... Oh, Detective Pikachu. Yeah, okay, sure. Never seen that movie, never plan to. Revelation is, I think, the last book of the Bible, which makes sense in hindsight. But again, if you asked me what happens in the book of Revelation, I could not have told you, so that doesn't really help anyway. So that's 4. It's not bad, assuming St. George Cross is accepted, but surely, right? Let me look this up quickly because I want to make sure that it's correct, but like, surely, right? The George Cross. Okay, it's just called the George Cross, but like depicting the effigy of Saint George and the Dragon. Like his name, he is Saint George, so I think that's surely fine. So that's 4, which is the best I've done so far, which is kind of sad through 4 quizzes. But again, like I said, very, very bad week for me. Quiz number 5. The rest of the quizzes are a little bit better, but again, I'm already way behind. Okay, quiz 5. No point giving a frequent flyer number for blah, blah, blah. That isn't part of, we're flying the largest airline that isn't part of any major alliance. Name this airline with destinations to 80 plus countries and a history of sports sponsorships. So without the sports sponsorships clue, this question is impossible for me, but I'm trying to think of sports teams that have airlines on them, and Emirates, like Fly Emirates is something that's written on so many sports jerseys everywhere that I think surely that's just the best answer here. So going with Emirates. Question 2, we'll also be traveling by train. I hope you're ready for the Transalpine, one of the most scenic lines in the world. Our trip will start in Greymouth in the west, pass through mountains and plains, and end in what city, whose transport infrastructure has mostly recovered after being crippled by a natural disaster. So Greymouth is a town on the west coast of the South Island of New Zealand. So presumably we are going through the mountains towards Christchurch. It could be like Dunedin or something, but I feel like Christchurch is just the better answer. And apparently there was a natural disaster. I don't remember what that was, but I would believe it. Question 3 also includes water transport. We're using the boats pictured below that the Uru people, relatives of the Aymara, have been building for thousands of years, riding them on what body of water. This should be Lake Titicaca, because I've heard of the Aymara, and I think they're a South American people, so Titicaca makes much more sense than really anything else. Question 4. I'll spend over 2 days on the GAN, a train that runs from Darwin to Adelaide and was named for Afghan traders who introduced what animal to Australia. And the largest feral population of these animals is also in Australia, but I'm kind of lost, to be honest. I mean, it could be any Australian animal. I don't really... there's probably a clue in here that I'm missing, but I don't really see a clue. Like, I just feel like this is... guess an Australian animal. Like maybe the dingo makes sense because it's like a dog that could have come from Afghanistan. I don't think the kangaroo or the koala came from Afghanistan, but maybe the dingo makes a little bit more sense in terms of wild Australian animals, but otherwise I don't really see any way to get this question, so I'll just go with dingo. This one, I'm going to be annoyed if this is wrong, but it's saying what city is missing from this unordered list, and then it lists a bunch of cities. I hope this is Orlando, because these are Disney theme parks. Like, Mont-la-Vallée is definitely where Disneyland Paris is. Anaheim is where Disneyland is. But what I'm worried about is, what if this list, rather than being Disney theme parks, this list is theme parks called Disneyland? Because Orlando is obviously Disney World. So if it wants a Disneyland in a different city, I'm going to be very sad indeed. But I have to say Orlando because I don't know or care about any other Disney theme parks, so that's just has to be my answer. Finally, question 6. This question has been torturing me, just like that last map question that we had, where it was about the flags not having red on them or whatever. This one, I've been staring at this for over an hour. I have no idea what's going on in this map. I am so bad at this type of thing where you're like given a map and you have to figure out what's going on the map. I can't do this kind of question. This is completely stumping me. It's saying it's easier or harder to do what? Red areas represent long waits, like 90 plus minutes, and then dark green is less than 10 minutes. But I don't understand what's going on here. Like, how is it so easy to do this thing in like that part of Sweden, but extremely hard in this part of Sweden or that part of Sweden? Why is Spain super difficult? Why are Belgium and the Netherlands the exact same color throughout? Like, why is Russia really green except like randomly in southern Pskov it's impossible, but then right across the border it's green again? Like, I don't get it. And then Algeria and Tunisia are like the easiest of all. This genuinely makes no sense to me. I've been staring at this map for ages and I have nothing. It has nothing to do with population as far as I can tell. It has nothing to do with elevation. Like, southern Italy is dark red, but then Sicily is green. Like, what? Like, this just doesn't make any sense. I really want to know what's going on, but I'm lost. So I'm going to say catch an Uber, which is 100% wrong, because I'm pretty sure Uber doesn't even operate in half of these countries. And again, like, if you can get an Uber in under 10 minutes in, like, Karelia in Russia, but not in like Malmo, Sweden, like, I mean, that's completely nonsensical. So this is wrong, but I am really interested to see what the answer to that question is. I think I'm honestly gonna enhance. Oh boy, Titicaca is too easy. Emirates I think is pretty easy. Dingo is probably wrong. Orlando is easy if it's right, and if it's wrong then I'm not enhancing it. 6 is wrong. I think I have to enhance number 2, even though I don't think it's very hard, but it's the best option I have. Does that count as a traffic light? Probably not. Hitchhiking. What? Okay, camels? Since when does Australia have camels? What in the world, dude? Okay, 4 out of 6. I've never heard of an Australian camel in my life. How is that even a thing? Whatever, man. And then hitchhiking. How does that make sense? So you can't hitchhike in Spain. You can... What? Okay. I still don't even really get that. Like, it's easy to hitchhike in all of England except for, like, Liverpool. They, like, hate hitchhikers or something. Like, what? It's easy in Sicily, reasonably easy in the middle of Italy, but not in Piedmont and Basilicata. It's impossible. Like, that map just made no sense to me. Like, I would really like to hear explanations for some of those areas, why they're red, why they're green, because, like, even thinking about it now, it doesn't really make much sense to me. So I'd love to know why those colors were those colors, because, again, like that Russia one, like, how is it that southern Pskov Oblast is just like, no, we don't do hitchhikers here, but the rest of Russia, like, yep, fine. Belarus, fine. Latvia, fine. But southern Pskov, no, off limits. Like, what? Where's the logic there? That's just, it seems so weird. But, okay. Anyway. Quiz 6. The omnipresent inhuman narrator Kufwufk narrates several works by what author, including his Cosmic Comics. This is really sad because I've heard of this Cosmic Comics, but I have no clue. Yeah, born in Cuba, but his last name is probably like Spanish, and his first name is probably not Spanish at all. But I don't have an answer, so I will guess a random Spanish last name. It might be the name of an author as well. Oh, God. I don't know, man. I'll come back to it. The Drones Club is a recurring location of the stories of P.G. Wodehouse, which appears in many of the stories about Bertie Wooster, and Jeeves is the name of the valet. It's just called Jeeves in Worcester. So yeah, that'll be the answer there. Literary term onomatopoeia refers to words that indicate sound. An unusual onomatopoeic word, snicker snack, appears in one poem to describe the sound made by a sword when it is used to kill what beast. My thought here is the Jabberwock in the poem by Lewis Carroll, because I don't know. I also thought it could be like Beowulf or something, but like this sounds like silly, like a nonsense word, rather than something you would find in an epic poem. So I think Jabberwocky makes sense for this because it's like a very, I don't know, it's a very Lewis Carroll word. So just the Jabberwock, I think, is a decent answer here. Another one that I'm tearing my hair out over. I don't know art movements. I've never bothered to learn them. So I don't know the differences between, realism and surrealism and romanticism and whatever else. So this is prevalent in the 1900s and 1910s, focused on painting subjectively and sentimentally rather than trying to objectively portray the world. Objectively portray the world would probably be realism, but the problem is I don't know what this one actually is. Like, I don't think it's surrealism because that's like Dali, and I think it's a little bit later. I don't think it's abstract expressionism because that's like Jackson Pollock. I mean, it could be some really generic name like romanticism or something, but it just feels like it's something else that I'm not thinking of. So I'm going to skip it and come back. One is a word used in classical music to indicate a strong accent on a note. The other is the name of a technique used in painting in which sharp color contrasts are blurred to smooth out visual transitions. Both words begin, rather unusually, with what two-letter combination? Again, no clue. I was trying to think of painting techniques, especially ones with weird two-letter combinations at the start. The one thing I thought of was sfumato, which is, I don't know what it is, but I know it's some art thing. The other ones I could think of were like chiaroscuro and like contrapposto and stuff, and those aren't very weird. But that one starts with SF, which is pretty weird. I don't know what the music thing is, but I don't know anything about classical music, so that's probably not something I would get anyway. So this seems like it has a chance of being correct, so I'm just going to go with it. And then Muybridge is the guy who's known for the photo series that depicts the horse running. I don't know if you've seen that thing where you like, I don't know, it's just the thing where the horse runs in a series of photos. It's like a fairly famous thing. So I think this is a horse. So yeah, I'm going to enhance number 3. It's a risk because I'm not sure it's right, but I mean, maybe 2 is just smarter, isn't it? I'm going to go with 3. I feel like it's probably right. But the rest of these, like, I really don't know. I really feel like I should know the answers to both of these, but I don't know either one. I'll do quiz 7 first, and come back to it afterwards. And I think that's it, right? I've submitted everything else? Yeah. Okay, history quiz. Quiz number 7, the final quiz of the season. One of the largest settlements of the Neolithic period, Çatalhöyük, was established around 9,500 years ago in what peninsula? Also home to the Phrygians, should say Phrygians, and the Hittites. This is Anatolia, which is just Turkey. The Hittites and Phrygians were, yeah, that's where they were. So the big peninsula in the west of Turkey is called Anatolia. This is another one that's just driving me insane because it feels like I should know it, but I just don't. And this question doesn't really give you much. Like, there's no way to know what part of the world we're in, which is kind of annoying. So excavations uncovered the original settlement of what city founded by Natufian hunter-gatherers. The only clue is this, Natufian, but I've never heard that word, so it doesn't help. I mean, 10,000 years is a long time, obviously, but it could be anywhere, to be honest. I'm trying to think of famous, like, old sites that are, like, ancient cities. I thought of, like, Great Zimbabwe, which I don't even know if that's a city. I don't know if it had walls around it. I don't know if it's been inhabited for that long. I don't know what a Natufian is, but it could be right. It could be, like, Kilwa, which is, I think, is a thing in, like, Tanzania. Those are the things I thought of in Africa, at least. And I mean, maybe like Carthage or something. But again, what's a Natufian? I don't know. I thought of Troy as well, but Troy doesn't make sense because it was discovered by a guy named Schliemann, and also Troy is also in Anatolia, so that would be really weird if there was an Anatolia question followed by a Troy question. So it shouldn't be that either. Although, to be fair, question 5 is pretty close to Anatolia too. But anyway, this is surely wrong, but I'd love to know, again, what this is talking about. Yeah, because I don't know. I just want to know. Question 3. The ancestor to all these languages arose ages ago and is often abbreviated to PAA, which should be Proto-something. PIE is Proto-Indo-European. So this is just a very common suffix for really old languages that we don't know much about. So yeah, Proto. I don't even know what the AA is, but, you know, I don't have to. Question 4, 50,000-year-old artifact made from a bird bone is the earliest known example of what tool? Its use may have helped the Denisovans survive in the Siberian North and establish tribal identities. I don't know, like a knife maybe? I mean, a knife would help you survive. 50,000 years is so long ago that I could see that being the first known example of a knife. Maybe it froze in the permafrost or something, so it was preserved for that long. So yeah, I don't know. A knife is a practical thing to use in Siberia, so sure. Question 5 is kind of a weird one. It would be really hard if not for something I'll get to in a second. A 2010 study found 130,000-year-old artifacts on what island, establishing the earliest known evidence of human seafaring. Other archaeological discoveries include the undeciphered Phaistos disc and the coin shown below. So Phaistos sounds Greek, so you can figure out it's Greece, but it's like, where in Greece? Like, that's a whole other matter. But then the coin in the picture literally says Chios on it, so that helps. Thanks, I guess. It's not that easy to read. I mean, you have to know how to read Greek, but there's like a chi, an eta, an omega, and a sigma. It just says Chios, so... Like, yeah, thanks for that, I guess, throwing me a bone. Hopefully that's not you know, shaped like a knife. But yeah, thanks for throwing me a bone and giving me a free Greek reading question. But otherwise, that would be very difficult, I think. There's a labyrinth. Wait. Why is there a labyrinth? Is it Crete? Because the labyrinth is on Crete, but it says Chios on the coin. What? Wait, but the labyrinth is famously on Crete. Dude, are you kidding me? But it doesn't say Crete. It clearly says Os. Like, is that not an X and an H? That's Chios. But it says there's something after the sigma. It definitely doesn't say Crete, I'll tell you that much. Wow. Maybe Chios is too hard. Maybe it is Crete. Plus, it makes more sense that the artifacts... I'm actually going to switch to Crete, and if the answer is Chios, I'm going to cry. I don't know why it says Chios on the coin, but the labyrinth is making me have second thought. Anyway, Tumai is a Sahelanthropus, Artie is an Ardipithecus, and Lucy is an Australopithecus. Just, I don't know, that's just famously what Lucy is. It's just a super old skeleton unearthed in, like, Ethiopia or something. Okay, so I guess I'll submit this, and I guess I'll enhance number 6 because I'm no longer confident that 5 is correct. And then these ones I think are easier, so or I don't know them. So I will enhance 6, and we shall see. Crete is correct, thank God. A needle, a sewing needle. How the heck? Okay, that's not... I mean, I'm never, ever getting that. Jericho. Again, I don't know how I'm supposed to get that. I think probably the, like, 7-day siege clue was probably something. But, like, again, that's going to be, like, a Bible thing. And I don't know anything about the Bible. So, like, that's not going to help me. So that's tough. So Anatolia, Proto, Crete, Australopithecus. So it's 4 out of 6. Again, it's fine. None of the quizzes have been particularly good for me, but I've had worse than that. Yeah, again, probably a skill issue for not knowing what the Jericho question is about, but again, I feel like if you don't know whatever that story is about the siege, which again I assume is like a Bible thing, then you're never getting that question, so unlucky. Okay, so finally questions 1 and 4 on quiz number 6. Narrator Kufwufk. Yeah, that's tough. Guess a random name. How about Perez? And then finally, broad art movement. Maybe it's just expressionism. Like abstract expressionism, except not abstract yet. Sounds broad enough, right? Just expressionism, why not? Okay. Submit. Man, I have never struggled that much with a set of these questions. And I don't think it's because I'm getting worse. I think it's because they ran out of things that are in my wheelhouse, or they just happened to ask a lot of questions this week that were just really, really rough for me. SF is actually right. Expressionism is right. The Jabberwock is correct. Jeeves is correct. Italo Calvino. Wow. What? That's really interesting. Cosmic Comics. Yeah, I know a couple things by Calvino. That's one that I've heard of, but I wasn't going to connect it to the name. I mean, he has a couple famous works, so I should probably know that. Calvino. But this sounds so Italian too. Like, I thought that I always thought his entire name sounded Italian, like not just his first name. Like Calvino sounds perfectly Italian to me, so I never even considered the fact that he might have been from somewhere else. So that's really interesting. Okay. Well, oh wait, no, but his parents are from Italy, so their names but so their names are Italian, and his first name is like literally Italy. Okay, sure. Anyway, the rest is correct. So SF was actually right, and okay, so that could have gone a lot worse. The rest, honestly, well, could not have gone much worse. I mean, that was brutal, and it sucks because I was third, I think, in overall score going into this week, and now I'd be surprised if I even get top 5. I mean, I think my score is going to be very low this week. Probably, I doubt I even got 30. I'm probably like 15th to 20th, maybe even worse than that. It was a rough time, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I've never gotten wrecked that much by a week of these quizzes, but hey, the good thing is they're fun, no matter what. So I will hide my camera one more time. They should hopefully update this in a second. I mean, the deadline's in 4 minutes, so I'll just pause the recording if I have to. But this is what the standings look like for this week. They just updated them. I'm in 16th with 27. Yeah, I didn't expect much. Honestly, that's probably a little better than I expected. So that was honestly just a brutal set of quizzes. And I think it's just because it happened not to really align with my skill set. But that was just savage, honestly. So we can look at the season standings, and I'm 4th. Okay, well, honestly, I expected worse, given how rough the last week was. I am solidly outside of the top 3 at this point. Sawyer with an absolutely insane 195. That's an average of over 39 per week. That's just unbelievably good. And then Rasmus and Akiro rounding out the top 3 for the season, I assume. I mean, unless we get an update in the next 3 minutes. But, hey, I mean, it was fun. It was fun. And I really have to say, even though I had gripes about this week's quizzes just because I sucked at them, they were still fun. And the questions are so amazingly well written. And again, it's really rare, in my experience, to get well-written trivia and consistent well-written trivia. Because it's not easy to write good trivia. So Benny and Looney just deserve the biggest of shout-outs possible because they are amazing at writing trivia and just being legends in general. So I'm so glad that they put this together for all of us. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this season. I certainly did. I do think, well, I don't know if I need to mention this now. I may as well mention it now. I am probably going to be making a second channel in the near future, so I can move a lot of the stuff from this channel that doesn't get as many views to that one. So this is one of the things that's going to end up on the second channel instead of the main channel, but that's obviously fine. This will come back. This will still be uploaded every week that it happens. So it's not going anywhere. It'll just move. But yeah, let me pause the recording because it's 2 minutes and then come back once the spreadsheet is updated for the final time so we can do a sort of a final season wrap up. All right, it's 10:01, so I have to assume that all the imports are done. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up anyway. So again, final standings for this week. Congrats to Imakiro. I'm not sure how to say that, but if you're there in the comments, feel free to correct me. Anyway, congrats to Imakiro, Kamira, and Drafting Coach for top 3 this week, and especially congrats to our top 3 for the entire season. Again, the legends Sawyer, Rasmus, and Imakiro, with insane scores of over 185 each, and Sawyer with the 195, just unbelievable performance. Again, very happy with 4th. I think I was 5th last season, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 6th. So I do think I improved overall. Maybe there were fewer people who played, I'm not sure. But massive thanks to the 108 people who played at least 1 week of the Quiz League this season. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. It was an absolute blast to play and commentate for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed watching these recap videos. Again, they will probably be moving channels, but they will not be going anywhere, so plenty more of this to look forward to when the Quiz League returns. But yeah, that's all I have for you for now. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and that is a wrap for Season 2 of the Lyons Den Quiz League. So yeah, thanks everybody, and I'll see you next season.